start with a little orchestra in the East End with, I don't remember which kind of jury, but I was determined to make it growing.
I think Donatella Flick, having the vision to unite her competition with the London Symphony Orchestra, has created a situation where the foundations of this competition are very, very strong.
And of course I'm very proud, because when now the musician, they say to me, or the critic, is one of the most important today in the world.
The collective talent of an orchestra like the London Symphony Orchestra has something to offer to the contestant that is extra special. The sheer quality of the experience that each musician has, the quality of the ears that they have, the conductors that they've seen work, not work. You know, they know how music is really made, because a conductor has to make music. He has nothing in his hands, maybe a baton, maybe not. And you know, you're forming the air and you have other people playing the music. Direct feedback that an orchestra like the London Symphony Orchestra can give to a contestant, already that is worth its weight in gold. Conductors need help at the beginning of their careers. They need guidance. They need the formative experiences. They need to meet the right people. I think this competition certainly offers that.
You need to have a little bit of luck, always. And the fact they arrived there already means a lot. Means that they went through a screening. When you are with 200 other conductors, it should give you a lot of self-confidence.
What's fascinating is to watch the last 20, to watch them rehearse, to watch how they get the results that they imagine in their own ear. I think every contestant will have a certain amount of ingenuity to figure out how they're going to prepare for this competition. Some people will gather some musicians together and practice the pieces. I mean, that takes some doing.
I found friends of mine who could play the concertos to practice with me. And just, you know, one time I even put together students in an ensemble and just practice and go through the pieces. So I know what sort of feeling, what kind of things I need to do, and ask for feedback. And that was the whole process. And every day, just like plan out, you know, every week, what piece I need to learn, by how much. And by then, to December, then I feel, you know, I'm prepared. So, you know, by the finale, by the final, I won't freak out if I actually get to the final.
The point is to find somebody that study very hard, and you know you can trust them. You need to have a certain confidence about your knowledge. And when you are in front, a great orchestra like the LSO, not to shaking, not to be scared, to give.
First of all, the Donatella Flick LSO conducting competition is quite hardcore. The repertoire also challenges the conductor in all sorts of ways. We're doing classical repertoire to contemporary music to huge romantic repertoire. You have to know every single note, every single phrase, and know it so well in your body so it's always ready. The moment you start walking out, people start judging you. The musicians, and the judges, I remember they were sitting among the orchestra, so they were all eyes are on you.
So the night of the final, of course, will be very exciting. The first piece, The Force of Destiny Overture by Verdi, all three will conduct, and that will be very interesting for the audience and for the judges to see from the same orchestra, with the same music, what these three contestants can pull out. It's a piece that's very, very dramatic. It's very lyrical. It's quite difficult to play in places, and it needs an incredible sense of theater and drama. Obviously, it's Italian opera. They'll each have a movement of Rachmaninoff's symphonic dances, but they won't know which movement they will be conducting until the night before. So there's an element of, oh my God, which is good. So often as conductors, we're caught in positions where we have to learn music quickly. They will know the music, but they will have to really focus in and have a plan for how they rehearse and eventually how they perform. Then they'll share, the three contestants will share the Enigma variations of Edward Elgar, a chance to show different characterization. These are little portraits, so the music must somehow speak, must communicate, must render an homage, a picture in music. And to tease that out of an orchestra is not so easy. It requires a musician to be evolved somehow as a human being and as a magician. That's the only way I know how to put it. So it will be very revealing.
It was definitely daunting to have the chance to stand in front of the LSO in the final of the competition. I needed to really calm myself down. I think I spent 20 seconds on the podium not believing this is happening.
I'll never forget my first encounter with the LSO. It was in 1997, and it was in Abbey Road Studios. Studio One, the big studio, and we were recording an opera together for EMI Records at the time, La Rondine of Puccini. And this opera starts with this, it's this big arpeggio, and it's like the orchestra explodes, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, I just gave the upbeat, and I couldn't believe what was hitting me.
The sound that came from them, what to say, it was so beautiful, everything was there. And at that moment, as a conductor, that was a dream come true.
Of course, the winner is the winner, but you cannot win always in life, and maybe you can learn.
I think for me, it was a reflection and also just to assess where I am, how am I doing? Because I couldn't have more headspace to worry about other people.
What I always suggest to these young conductors to come, even the one that's been eliminated the first day, to stay there and watch.
And there were some competitors who didn't get into the second round. They were around to support. And then by the third day, when there were three of us left, of course we're not like best friends, but definitely there was this, we three of us are going to the third day. We are all very proud of ourselves.
So, it's very important to be among this group and try to understand what they miss, what they want to be, where they want to go. We want them to jump and to go on and be tough and be interested in music and listen and watching and talking. And this is the most important thing, live together with the music. And the London Symphony Orchestra is the music.
After I was finished, I was in backstage and I needed to calm myself down because I was still in that mode of, oh my goodness, I just conducted the LSO. Wow, that was so good. That was so brilliant. There's so many different things going on in my head. But of course, then now I was like, okay, I've done my job. I need to wait. I'm happy to leave London the next day. I'm happy. Done. But of course, if I could win, it would be awesome.
The LSO is very, very generous in this because they really I've seen how they worked with Aileen Chang, and how they really brought her along and have included her in their own development. And so she's part of their family.
So when you see, Sir Simon Rattle comes in, or Bernard Haitink, these at the top musicians come in, and the level when LSO perform, it's a complete out of this world. And that, to me, I learned so much of, working with such an orchestra, such musicians. You have to be at your best.
Ultimately, my aim as a conductor is to find an orchestra that I can have a really good and successful working relationship with, where we can explore different repertoire, explore different sound worlds, but really find that one orchestra and build a career with them.
As a conductor, what I would like to achieve is to touch people emotionally.
I guess the most important thing that I'd like to achieve is to transmit my genuine joy, what I love, to other people, to the audience, to the musicians, as much as I can.
If I were to win, the first thing I would probably do is phone up all of my friends and family and let them know. But after that, head down to the pub for a drink.
Or if I win, I will definitely go party.
Oh gosh, I think I'm gonna sleep. I think I'm actually gonna finally get a full night's sleep without working on a score for a whole 8 hours long. I think that'll be probably my first joy.
Through this competition, we can not only find the right talent, but give them an experience that will set them on the right path to becoming a fine conductor. A great conductor is someone who has devoted his or her life to music.
Communication and imagination is what makes a conductor.
I also think a conductor needs to have empathy.
Somebody who helps me, somebody who makes it possible. Real integrity, so that they're serving the music first and foremost.
What makes a great conductor is somebody who inspires me.
The ability to communicate to first the orchestra and then the public.
To communicate perhaps some of the strongest and most heart-rending emotions, which make for a lot of the great symphonic repertoire. But it's a life, I tell you, it's a life.
And the winner is Niklas Hoffmann.
Music has the ability to slow down the time, the moment, and there are few things in life which can do that. I will be working with the LSO, being part of the education program, which is fantastic. Every young conductor is dreaming of such an opportunity.